So, man, we're going to see the new Spider-Man movie this weekend. Count me in, guys. Oh, yeah. And Doomsday is soon. Well, hell yeah. Oh, come on. What do you want, Jamal? Look. Now, look. I'm man enough to admit it. I lost last week. But I want to say, I have mad respect for you, Rosie, for saying to give me the benefit of the doubt and not using the $1 million foundation. Yeah, whatever, man. Good job. Well, it just got me to thinking. Maybe I should have. Get him up. Nice, man. Yeah, I ain't done yet. Come here, darling. Jamal. Got her. Good work, boys. Come here, Molly. Damn asshole, Jamal. Give her to me. I got him. Get her up. Come here, Hurricane. Stop, Becky. Come here. Got him. Not so fast. We've already done a lot of damage, Nikki. Get out of here. Damn it. Jamal. Get out. Here to save the day. Come here, Becky. Let's go. Yeah, you better run. You guys okay? I've had better days. JJ. This bastard. I think you should have this. It's yours. No, Nikki. It's yours now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Desolation. And we are kicking the night off with a huge #1 contender for the new level championship match. Whoever wins will get Skellige at Doomsday Select. Making his way to the ring, CM Punk. And yes, the ring is already filled with a lot of challengers. CM Punk and Skellige are partners in a faction with Andre. So if CM Punk wins this match here tonight, he'll have to face his faction mate. You know, the best in the world won't shy away from that. Oh, Andre is also in this match. And making his way to the ring, Andre the Giant. Andre and Punk, you know we're gonna have an alliance. And Bobby Lashley spearing Andre and throwing Punk out onto the apron. This is over the top rope elimination. Punk at risk for elimination, but Andre has not yet entered the ring. R-Truth trying to take out Alex Reynolds. And Jerry Lynn with a big chop to R-Truth, springs up, drop kick to Booker T. Bobby Lashley brings CM Punk back into the ring on his shoulder. Booker T after Darby Allin in the corner, and Bobby Lashley drops Punk Booker T with a shot to Darby Allin. And Booker T goes for a clothesline to Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley ducks underneath, and Booker T gets the Russian leg sweep on Bobby Lashley. Darby Allin. Code red to Jerry Lynn on top of Booker T. Andre the Giant getting back to his feet and swats Darby Allin away, chopping him across the ring. Alex Reynolds trying to German suplex Andre the Giant out. Andre still hasn't entered the ring yet. He wouldn't even be eliminated. But Punk saving Andre, and Alex Reynolds is the first eliminated. And now Andre enters the ring. I guess he would have been eliminated since the bell has already sounded. R-Truth going after CM Punk. And yes, I'm getting word that Andre the Giant was official in the match if his feet would have hit the floor. Andre has got a lot of bodies on his shoulder. Bobby Lashley stacking Jerry Lynn and Booker T on the shoulder of Andre. And now Bobby Lashley, what the hell, going up under, fall away slam to the Giant with two other men on his shoulder, and then spearing Lashley, looking impressive in the early goings. Booker T. Lariat kick to Darby Allin. CM Punk's got R-Truth up, go to sleep to R-Truth. He turns around into the bookend by Booker T. Jerry Lynn behind Booker T. Kicks the arm, picks Booker T up. He got him up, Booker T escapes. Kick to the gut, Booker T misses the scissor kick. And a big clothesline by Jerry Lynn. Darby Allin and Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn gets drop kicked by Darby Allin into the corner. And he comes back and gets rolled up by Darby Allin. But instead, he picks Darby Allin up, avoids getting rolled up. And what a big backbreaker by Jerry Lynn, getting a lot of height on that. Picking up Darby Allin and power bombing him onto R-Truth in the corner. Big kick to R-Truth. R-Truth hangs on, but Jerry Lynn kicks him out and eliminates R-Truth. R-Truth hitting those steel steps, getting eliminated. Jerry Lynn with a springboard moonsault lands on Bobby Lashley. Lashley holds on to him, but Jerry Lynn escapes, rolls up Bobby Lashley, and Jerry Lynn's got the pin on Lashley. But Lashley reverses into the pin. And instead, submission, Boston Crab. Bobby Lashley, look, he's got both legs trapped under one arm. But a big shot to the back of the head by Andre. Knocks them both over. And a chop to Booker T by Andre. Booker T escapes that gorilla press slam and a low blow to the Giant. Pulling the Giant, and then a giant scissor kick. Spinner Rooney by Booker T. And Darby Allin going after Booker T on the shoulder, and Booker T throws Darby Allin off head first into the corner, and a Houston hangover to the head of Darby Allin. The fans going crazy. What an opener. We are just 2 desolations away from Doomsday Select. And who will go to Doomsday Select to fight Skeletor for the new level champion? I don't think it's Booker T. No, Booker T eliminated by CM Punk. And Booker T at those steel steps too. Wait, Eddie Guerrero from out of the crowd. Flash to Booker T. What the hell, Eddie Guerrero has some beef with Booker. Giant gorilla press slamming Jerry Lynn into Booker T and Eddie Guerrero. And CM Punk eliminates his partner, his faction mate Andre.
You got me.
And Andre said, "You got me." But he can't be happy. Elbow dropping the pile of bodies twice, and he is not throwing Jerry Lynn, chopping Eddie Guerrero. Oh God, Eddie Guerrero goes flying. Power bombing Booker T on the stage. Andre the Giant did not win, but he is making his mark across a lot of the roster members. We are down to the final 3. Lashley going after Punk with a back elbow and picks him up for the Dominator as Darby Allin watches on. CM Punk escapes, shots to the back of the head, chop to Lashley. Backhand to Lashley. And now Darby Allin going after Punk, rolls him up. Dives up Bobby Lashley, and a cutter to the almighty by Darby Allin. CM Punk dives at Darby Allin. Darby Allin shots to Punk, headbutt to the midsection. And look at that, around Punk, powerbombs him into the post on the apron. CM Punk close to being eliminated here. Darby Allin coffin drop to the back of Punk. And Bobby Lashley picking up Darby Allin on the top rope. On the second rope, he's got him on his shoulder. Dominator eliminating Darby Allin, and Punk's foot touching the floor. Bobby Lashley with a big win, and he is going to Doomsday Select to fight for the new level championship. Coming up next, the Hurricane takes on Sabu.
Stand back! There's a hurricane coming through!
Making his way to the ring, representing Seekers of Justice, the Hurricane. Hurricane, a former world champion, looking back to get in those world championship ranks. Alright, yeah, let's go, Hurricane. And his opponent, Sabu. And here we go, a big match, Sabu and Hurricane. Sabu trips Hurricane in the center of the ring, goes for the STF. Hurricane gets to the ropes, big chop by Sabu. Over the back of Hurricane, onto the apron, picking Hurricane up, back, suplexing him onto the apron. And Sabu drop kicks Hurricane into those steel steps, picks him up, body slam. Hurricane grabs the rope with his feet, and a big field goal kick, sending Sabu inside out, and a shooting star press off the apron to Sabu on the floor, and then a poison Rana, spiking Sabu's head on the apron. Hurricane on the apron. He's gonna springboard. Gets caught by Sabu, big body slam. But Hurricane kicks off Sabu. Sabu off the back of Hurricane, going for another back suplex into a big blue thunder bomb, and then a splash in the corner. Picks up Hurricane, hangs him up on the top rope, and a calf kick to the back of the head. Big shots to the back of the head of Hurricane. Suplex, Hurricane escapes off the back, and a crucifix bomb to Sabu. Sabu answers back, clotheslining Hurricane out of the ring. Sabu hits the rope, out into a flip. Look at that instant replay, flipping, hitting the back of Hurricane with such velocity. Look at this exchange here. They both exchange power bombs. Powerbomb reversals, but Sabu gets it in the end, powerbombing Hurricane onto the stage ramp. Big shots to the head, and Sabu doing more damage to the head of Hurricane, DDTing him. Sabu in the ring to break up the count, but he's not done, and he needs the stage set, and Hurricane trips him into the stage. Kicks the back of his head.
Hurricane traps the arm.
And again, big kicks by Hurricane. And picking Sabu up with a body scissors and slamming Sabu down onto the floor. And the back of Sabu's head hit the stage, and the rest of his body hit the floor. Now Hurricane on top. My God, Sabu's got a table, and he's setting a table up. Hurricane diving off the top of the stage. Leg drop to the back of the head of Sabu through the table. Absolutely no hesitation by Hurricane. And you see him sit there and he was like, why wouldn't I do that? No hesitation will get you the win. And here we go, Hurricane and Sabu. After an insane move, Sabu kicks out. How did Sabu get his shoulder up and he's still on his feet? Running the international elbow to the head of Hurricane by Sabu. Sabu is still in this somehow. Kip up. Hurricane gets sent into the corner. Sabu, electric chair to Hurricane. Dives up to the second rope, up to the top rope. Moonsault to Hurricane. And then a sliding basement lariat to Hurricane. Sabu with Hurricane up on his shoulders. Hurricane escapes. And Hurricane vertebreaker. If he hits this, it'll definitely be over for Sabu. No, Sabu escapes. Double arm DDT. Hurricane into the corner, head first off the middle turnbuckle post. And then a spiral splash off the top rope. And Sabu butterflying the arms of Hurricane again behind his back and sends him out onto the apron, onto the floor. I have never seen a suplex through the ropes like that, and diving off the top rope, drop kick to the head of Hurricane, sends him into the broken half of that table and collapsing the leg, and the Hurricane skull on that wood. Take down the Hurricane, heavy shots to the head, springing off the ropes, misses the crossbody. Hurricane dives in the ring. Sabu dives in after him. Hurricane hits his ring him back in the ring. Sabu off the back of Hurricane picks him up and slams him down. Big powerbomb by Sabu. Hurricane kicks out. Sabu pulls Hurricane back. And devastating deadeye by Sabu. The ref checking on Hurricane. Sabu bringing in a steel chair, and the referee says no way. And Sabu gets aggressive with the referee and throws him away and sets up the steel chair. And he's telling the ref he's not using it to swing at Hurricane, just to jump at him. It's still not legal, and definitely that's not legal. Trying to back suplex Hurricane into the steel chair. The referee gets rid of it. Sabu reading him the riot act for just a moment. Goes back on the offense. Knee to the head of Hurricane, springing off the top rope, back elbow, and now this looks like it's in Sabu's favor, and I cannot believe it after that leg drop off the top of the Titantron through Sabu's head through the table. And he's able to get back into this. What a head scissor into a powerbomb by Hurricane. This match could go either way. Hurricane on top of the head of Sabu. On the top, comes back. Hurricane Rana to Sabu. The Hurricane back in the corner. Sabu trying to get to his feet. Hurricane springs off and nukes the knee of Sabu. What a jumping knee by Sabu. Hurricane hanging on the middle rope. Sabu misses the drop kick, goes flying through the ropes. Hurricane jumps over the top rope. Hurricane Rana, Sabu throws Hurricane face first onto the apron. Sabu back suplexing the Hurricane, backing up into the post and suplexing the Hurricane onto the floor. Sabu jumping up to the top rope and a crossbody to Hurricane on the floor. Heavy shots. What a match. Sabu looking incredible right now, suplexing Hurricane on the apron and tying his feet up in the ropes. Sabu might be on his way to defeating a former world champion, and after that, diving stomp, propelling his whole body off of Hurricane. And another table in the mix, setting it up on the apron. The referee trying to push the table off the apron, and before he can, Sabu drop kicks Hurricane through the table. That's gotta be it. Sabu throws Hurricane back into the ring. Up on the apron, springboard leg drop to the back of the head of Hurricane, and that'll do it. 2. No! Hurricane kicks out at 2. Hurricane with a huge lariat to Sabu. And now holding the hands of Sabu as he kicks him in the face. Kicks him onto the apron, springboard up the second rope. Tornado DDT, Sabu holds on. Northern Lights suplex. So close. Hurricane able to kick out. And Hurricane rolls up Sabu. And onto his shoulders into the vertebreaker. No Sabu. Reverses into a power bomb. How did Sabu counter into this spiral bomb? And Hurricane spikes him with a Hurricane Rana on the top of Sabu's head. And Hurricane with a big win. No, Sabu kicks out. What a near fall. Sabu springboards off the middle rope. Flipping DDT. And rolls up Hurricane off the flipping DDT. Deep cover, all the weight on the shoulders. Sabu, what a win. And you're a winner, Sabu. That'll definitely throw a wrench in the plans of Doomsday Select. Tajiri, Hurricane, and Sabu are now all contenders. And they've all beaten each other. Ladies and gentlemen, next week we have a huge 6-man tag already scheduled. Kenny Omega, we will find out one of his partners tonight. We will find out another one of his partners next week as they take on Sky Team. Well, let me tell you all a little story about Will Ospreay. And it's a short story, because I don't have much time for Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is the type of man who will say he's got your back, and he'll have the whole world convinced that Will Ospreay is here to save the day. No, Will Ospreay is only in it for himself, and now he's surrounding himself with a team of high-flying rejects. Well, Will, let me tell you something. I am the best bout machine. And I'm sick and tired of everybody wondering who's the better man between the two of us. When I know I am everything I say I am. And who are you, Will? What depths will you go to? Making their Desolation debut, Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. World's greatest tag team. And I'm so excited to call the first match for Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas here on Desolation. What an impact they've already had on Ring of Honor in their comeback. And we seen just seconds ago a fired up Kenny Omega, who is his mystery partner here tonight. Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints is here. And we know Ricky Saints is signed to CMLL. And what a talent it would be to walk down for Desolation. And here we go. Charlie Haas, Shelton Benjamin throwing blows with Ricky Saints and Kenny Omega. Omega tripping Shelton Benjamin into an armbar, and Charlie Haas breaking it up with a big forearm across the jaw of Kenny Omega. And the referee, Julia Price, getting the action under control. Kenny Omega with a snapdragon to Shelton Benjamin, and then Hurricane Rana. Charlie Haas into the ring. Springboarding off the second rope, drop kick to Shelton Benjamin. And then goes through the ropes, misses the drop kick to Charlie Haas. Charlie Haas springing over the top rope, crossbody to Kenny Omega. Omega catches him and body slams Charlie Haas into the apron. And Kenny Omega gets tripped by Charlie Haas, trying to go for the V-trigger to Shelton Benjamin, Ricky Saints going after Benjamin on the apron, and allows Kenny Omega to make the opening. Shelton Benjamin makes the tag, and in comes Charlie Haas like a house of fire. Omega misses the clothesline. Charlie Haas throws him into the ropes. Omega comes back into a back elbow. Haas stomping him into the mat and gets the headlock. Kenny Omega gets to his feet, backing into his corner, but Charlie Haas backs Omega into his corner, and then shoulder to the gut of him and Ricky Saints, and then throws Ricky Saints off the apron, puts Omega on the top rope, and what a chop! Charlie Haas makes the tag to Shelton Benjamin, and was Benjamin into the Hurricane Run of Frankensteiner, but Kenny Omega counters and powerbombs Shelton Benjamin off the top rope on the Charlie Haas. Makes the tag to Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints springboarding crossbody on the Shelton Benjamin. And Ricky Saints with a shot to Benjamin to the midsection, and then a chop across the chest. Benjamin fires back with a super kick. And a big shoulder tackle into the corner of Benjamin. Pulls him out of the corner. Rochambeau, center of Saints, hits his finisher. And then a chop to the chest to Charlie Haas, and a Rochambeau to Charlie Haas on the Shelton Benjamin, center of the ring. Ricky Saints, he should have went for the cover, showing off, makes the tag to Kenny Omega. And it looks like Omega wants to make examples of the world's greatest tag team. Don't come to his show and expect a spot without having to fight for it. Omega pulls Charlie Haas out onto the apron. Snapdragon to Charlie Haas on the apron, and Shelton Benjamin with a boot to Kenny Omega off the apron. Ricky Saints misses that shot. Benjamin T-bone suplex. Benjamin hits his finisher and then dives out. Flip dive on the Kenny Omega on the floor. And Ricky Saints goes for a suicide dive, but gets caught by Charlie Haas. Charlie Haas back suplexing Ricky Saints on the steel steps, and then pulls them out for their signature backbreaker. Charlie Haas gets reversed by Kenny Omega, and Omega throws Haas into the steel steps, and then a boot to Shelton Benjamin, throws him in the ring. Kenny Omega springs in, drop kick to Shelton Benjamin, and the V-trigger to Benjamin in the ropes, pulls him up for the one-winged angel. But Benjamin gets off the back and German suplexes Kenny Omega. Big shot by Shelton Benjamin, going for another German suplex, and he hits it, sending Kenny Omega inside out. Kenny Omega fires back with a chop, kick to the midsection of Benjamin, and a power bomb. Shelton Benjamin escapes again. Omega around quickly to the front of Benjamin, picks him up, and what a side effect by Kenny Omega. Springs up to the top rope, moonsault to Shelton Benjamin, and then Charlie Haas clotheslines Kenny Omega out onto his shoulders, and then a double team Alabama slam clothesline from Benjamin onto the steel steps goes Kenny Omega. And now Ricky Saints has to fight for his life. I think Kenny Omega's done for. Springboard dropkick by Shelton Benjamin misses. Ricky Saints clotheslines him over the top rope. Chaos Theory rolling German suplex. Combination clothesline springing in by Shelton Benjamin. And World's Greatest Tag Team will take this one, I believe. What a debut. A dominating performance by World's Greatest Tag Team, and they are not called that for no reason. Alright, here we go. NWO Bloodline. You guys are all 1-1.
What'd you say, Holmes?
Alright, guys. You both get one stipulation apiece, and then me and Eric Bischoff will come to an agreement on a stipulation later. Alright, Bloodline. What's your stipulation gonna be? Alright. Listen up and pay attention, Bloodline. In NWO, Bloodline rules. The fans are gonna pick this, and we are gonna use it to bring in everybody in our family to beat down whoever you got in the NWO. We know it's not just you five, but we'll play along with this little 5-on-5. Alright, NWO, how about a Roman Reigns as a bitch? Oh, that's what you think? Alright, okay. Guys. Come on, seriously. Get over here. Yeah, stay back. We're gonna go with a steel cage match. And coming up next, huge tag team action coming up with big implications. The following contest is in the Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament. Introducing first, the Glamazon Beth Phoenix. And her partner, the man, Becky Lynch. They represent the $1 Million Foundation. And their opponents, Tank Girl and Tennyson Dog. Make a name for themselves, Tennyson Dog sins. Tournament. Tank Girl flying in, Beth Phoenix catches her and body slams her and stomps the head of Tank Girl. And we are underway. Tank Girl gets up, flies into the corner at Beth Phoenix with a knee, but Beth Phoenix out of the way and German suplexes Tennyson Dog across the ring, picks her back up, and what a slam face first goes. Flies into the corner at Beth Phoenix with a knee, but Beth Phoenix out of the way and German suplexes Tennyson Dog across the ring, picks her back up, being cocky, and what a slam face first goes to be. She is a dominant force in this women's division, but Tank Girl, don't underestimate her. She rolls up Beth Phoenix, and Beth Phoenix kicks out, all that weight on her shoulders. Tank Girl flips around, picks up Beth Phoenix, wow, and then a backbreaker. Beth Phoenix comes flying back at her with a shoulder block, shots to the head, sends Tank Girl down in the corner, stomping a mud hole into Tank Girl and standing on her head as she poses, and Julia Price had to get Beth Phoenix off of her. Beth Phoenix sends Tank Girl flying and makes the tag to Becky Lynch. In comes the man. Becky Lynch arm drag the Tank Girl and a drop kick, sending her into the corner. Flies in, goes for the uppercut. Tank Girl out of the way, and Becky Lynch with a pounce and stomps to the back of the head. Tank Girl trips Becky Lynch, goes for the tag, but Becky Lynch cuts her off. But Tank Girl, inverted Rana. Becky Lynch makes the tag before Tank Girl can even start the crawl for the tag. Beth Phoenix underneath, German suplex, chop to Tank Girl, and pushes her back in the corner. Headbutts by Beth Phoenix and picks Tank Girl up onto the top rope. Butterfly suplex off the top rope. Domination being showed by Beth Phoenix. And Tank Girl makes the tag, and Beth Phoenix allows her to. But she wasn't expecting that. What a spiral splash by Tennyson Dog, and then takes out Becky Lynch on the other side. Big splash, crossbody by Tennyson Dog. Springs over the top rope, and another crossbody, and a suicide dive to Becky Lynch. Taking out the man, Tennyson Dog, looking great. And then a butterfly suplex, sending Becky Lynch into her announce desk. Beth Phoenix on the top rope, flies out, knee to the back of Tennyson Dog as Tennyson Dog was using the announce desk to get to her feet. Becky Lynch and Beth Phoenix now destroying Tennyson Dog with a beatdown of stomps, with part of the announce desk on top of Tennyson Dog, standing on top of her. Tank Girl springs up to the top rope and a moonsault, taking them both out through our announce desk, shattering the desk, shattering the body of Becky Lynch and Beth Phoenix. Tennyson Dog rolls Beth Phoenix back in, and did you believe this? Ultimate Cinderella story. Tennyson Doc kick to the back of the head, out onto the apron, picking up Beth Phoenix on her shoulder. Oh my God, Death Valley driver off the apron, but Becky Lynch back into it and a manhandle slam, stopping the Cinderella story of Tank Girl in her tracks. But Tennyson Doc's not done yet. Stomp off the top rope. Becky Lynch comes in to cut her off, and a manhandle slam to Tennyson Doc. Beth Phoenix with the cover. And Tennyson Doc kicks out of the manhandle slam. Can you believe that? Beth Phoenix picks her up. Slam. That has to do it. What a performance. And your winners, moving on in the tournament, Becky Lynch and Beth Phoenix, the $1 Million Foundation. Well, coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, is main event time. #1 contender match. The Bludgeon Brothers versus NWO. Making their way to the ring, Eric Rowan and Brody Lee, the former Death Grips Tag Team Champions, Bludgeon Brothers. Making their way to the ring, Undertaker and Scott Hall, representing NWO. And here we go, the bell sounds, and we are starting off with Undertaker and Brody Lee. Big shots being exchanged by the big men. Knee to the gut by Brody Lee, and a clothesline to the back of the head. Undertaker and Scott Hall want this #1 contendership. They are going to have to pry it from the Bludgeon Brothers' cold, dead hands, because we know the Bludgeon Brothers want to get their hands back on Zeus and Bruce. Undertaker hanging up Brody Lee on the top rope, and Brody Lee makes the tag to Eric Rowan. Undertaker clotheslines Brody Lee over the top rope and throws in Eric Rowan. Undertaker not messing around. Drop kick to Eric Rowan and Brody Lee off the apron into the crowd. Hits the barricade, and now Undertaker taking control of Eric Rowan, grounding him, knees to the top of the dome. And Undertaker backing into his corner. Eric Rowan picks him up, back body drop, and then a chop to Scott Hall and throws Scott Hall in. But Scott Hall holding his own, and Scott Hall pulling out Eric Rowan. And a belly-to-belly by Scott Hall to Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan was holding on for dear life, but Scott Hall pulled him out and then pushes him back into the waiting clothesline by the Undertaker. Vintage clothesline. Scott Hall with a stomp to Eric Rowan, and then big shots to the head of Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan throws off Scott Hall. Scott Hall comes back with big shots, and then to the leg, a chop block, pulling Eric Rowan back into his corner. A tag by Undertaker, and Undertaker stomps to Eric Rowan as Scott Hall had him trapped. Had his leg trapped. Now Undertaker picks up Eric Rowan, body shot, head shots. Undertaker all over Eric Rowan, shots across the shoulder blades, tag into Scott Hall. And I like these quick tags to each other. Undertaker throwing Eric Rowan into the waiting kick of Scott Hall. Boot across the head, and then the leg drop off the top rope. Scott Hall DDT, but Eric Rowan too powerful and picks Scott Hall up and sends him into his corner. Big shots to the head by Brody Lee, pounding away at Scott Hall, trying to keep NWO down. And what a combination. Samoan drop, neck breaker by Bludgeon Brothers, and the elbow drop by Eric Rowan before he exits the ring. Brody Lee picking up Scott Hall. Scott Hall gets a super kick to the face and then a big boot to the Undertaker. Brody Lee on fire, misses the leg drop. Scott Hall with a drop kick. And Scott Hall rolls up Brody Lee. Brody Lee kicks out at 1. Scott Hall with a back elbow. And a DDT to Brody Lee, center of the ring. Goes for the shot to Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan pulls Scott Hall out of the ring. But Scott Hall pulls Eric Rowan off the apron and goes back into the ring. Goes up to the second rope on the enemy's corner. Knee to the head of Brody Lee. Undertaker back up. And Scott Hall makes the tag. Undertaker in with a boot to Brody Lee. And Undertaker up to the top rope. Misses the top rope clothesline. Eric Rowan, what a cutter. And Scott Hall waiting for Eric Rowan to get up. Scott Hall arm dragging Eric Rowan into Brody Lee. Nice move there by Scott Hall. Eric Rowan with a back elbow to Undertaker. And then a crossbody out onto Scott Hall. Undertaker sits up. Brody Lee in with a spiral splash to Undertaker. And picking Undertaker up. And a big fall away slam. Undertaker sits up again. Eric Rowan rolls in and a big crossbody by Eric Rowan. And Eric Rowan butterfly suplex to the dead man. Eric Rowan diving out again onto Scott Hall. Eric Rowan defending this #1 contender spot with all he's got. And what a match we have. Powerbomb to Scott Hall on the top of the stage by Eric Rowan. Picking Scott Hall back up on his shoulder. And a big slam. Eric Rowan dominating Scott Hall. And Undertaker flies out. Dive onto Eric Rowan. From the ring to the top of the stage, Brody Lee throws Undertaker into the desolation sign. Into the stage set. Those concrete blocks. And then a back body drop to Undertaker. And Scott Hall through the stage. Drop kick to Brody Lee. Taking him out. DDT. Off the stage. Onto the floor. Cracking the skull of Brody Lee, but Eric Rowan pulls Brody Lee out of the fire, power bombs him onto Scott Hall, and then sends him into the Undertaker using his partner as a weapon. And Brody Lee throws him back into the ring. Brody Lee suplex. Undertaker counters. Got the headlock of Brody Lee, but Brody Lee trying to pick Undertaker up. Undertaker trying to stay grounded. But Brody Lee drops him face first. Flatliner, knee to the back of the head. Leg drop to the back of the head. And Brody Lee, powerbomb. Sit out powerbomb. Only a 1 count by The Undertaker. Wow. And Undertaker showing Brody Lee he's got his own. Last ride by the dead man. And he is exhausted. He falls into waiting shots by Eric Rowan. And Eric Rowan's got Undertaker on the apron. Scott Hall with a kick to the back of the head of Eric Rowan. Scott Hall pulling Eric Rowan up onto the apron. Eric Rowan back body drop Scott Hall on the top rope. Devastating. Undertaker back up to his feet, dives out, DDT. DDT to Eric Rowan, pulls him back into the ring. Brody Lee and Eric Rowan up to their feet, Undertaker up and diving at the Bludgeon Brothers. Bludgeon Brothers back body drop Undertaker out of the ring. And Brody Lee rushes up to the top rope. No way. Side effect off the top rope. The Bludgeon Brothers. They have got this in the bag, it seems. Eric Rowan throwing Scott Hall to Brody Lee. And Eric Rowan going after Undertaker, and he pulls Undertaker back into the ring, and they are going for the bludgeoning. Brody Lee's got Scott Hall up. Eric Rowan with Undertaker up. And they powerbomb them into each other. But Undertaker and Scott Hall, a double DDT counter out of the bludgeoning. What a counter. Undertaker tombstone pile driver to Eric Rowan and rolls out. And Scott Hall has got Brody Lee up. Razor's Edge. And he's going to pin him in a pile. Julia Price counts the pin. All shoulders are down. We have new #1 contenders. Scott Hall and Undertaker. NWO. Well, thank you for joining us here tonight on Desolation. We will see you next week for the go-home show before Doomsday Select.